Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and I teach you how to connect with your deck so you can build your spiritual confidence and listen to your intuition. So today we are starting my absolutely long anticipated series on the symbolism of the tarot. And we are starting, of course, with the Fool card, which is the first card in the deck. And we are going to be looking at the Rider-Waite-Smith. And we are going to be looking at the numerology, the astrology, the planets, the colors. We're going to be looking at the meaning of all of the imagery within the card. We'll step into a little bit of Kabbalah, looking at the Hebrew letters and also the Tree of Life. So I can't wait to get started. What I'm going to do is swing the camera around so that you can view the card from above and look at all my wonderful notes and follow along with me. Before I do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss another one of my videos. And I'll see you in a minute. So let's have a look at this Fool card. Now, before we have a look, I'm going to give you a reminder again. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell if you want to make sure that YouTube reminds you every time I upload a video. And of course, I want to show you the goodies I've put together for my Etsy shop. And if you would like some of my free goodies, then please subscribe to my newsletter list. All you need to do is go down into the comments below this video and you will see in the description box that there is a link to become part of my free member community where you receive newsletters with background to the videos that I do, free goodies. I've got a member community with lots of free courses. I have a free Facebook group with lots and lots and lots going on. So please make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell and click that link to come over and be part of my community. So these are the goodies that are in my Etsy shop. So I've got my notes here, and the reason I put these notes together is because I knew, it happens all the time, whenever I do a video about anything, I always get people asking me, can we please have your notes? So I put the notes together and they're available in my Etsy shop. You've got color symbolism on the back, and you've also got the symbolism of the Golden Dawn. So you've got timing, numerology, Hebrew letters, the Tree of Life, the elements, and the planets. So a little bit of information there for you from the Golden Dawn attributions. So that's that. Then I've got my famous tarot symbolism cheat sheet that's super simple. It basically is like a cheat sheet you can use if you're writing in your journal, if you are doing a reading and have your cards laid out and just need a prompt. And of course, the wonderful thing about the tarot is we can use cheat sheets all the time. It's great. And so these are ones that have been very popular in my shop, and the link to those are also down in the comments. I've also got a worksheet for you for those of you who are interested in synthesizing the information about the symbolism and using that to help you come up with your own meaning. So I'll go over that right at the end of the video so you understand how to use it. So let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is the name of this card. Now, of course, it's called the Fool, but the Golden Dawn title is the Spirit of Ether. And this card is all about air and wisdom and things we can and can't understand. And you will get more of a sense of that as I go into all of the symbolism. So the numerology for this card is 0, and that's really quite significant because 0 is unlimited possibilities. You're at the beginning, you're starting out. This is the first card in the deck. and you are starting out. You are stepping out into the world. And it's interesting that it's also got the Hebrew, according to the Golden Dawn, the Hebrew letter attribution of Aleph, which you can see here is like 3 brush strokes. And Aleph, I do apologize to all of my Jewish followers who have probably studied this alphabet and know that I am really not pronouncing these letters correctly, and my understanding of the meanings of them is pretty rudimentary. However, I want you, please, please, please show me compassion. And also remember, I'm teaching tarot. I'm not teaching Hebrew letter symbolism. So we just need to have a basic understanding, not really for understanding the Kabbalah and the Hebrew letters, but more about understanding the meaning of this card. That's why I'm talking about them. So the Hebrew letter for this card is Aleph, and Aleph is about beginnings and endings. I think about the meaning of Aleph as being something like the Big Bang, the big start. It's like God everywhere, all at once, all knowing, all seeing, all understanding. It's kind of like the wisdom and the universe that you just can't touch. And so that's where this card starts to step into the sort of life's wisdom that we're trying to express, that you want to have, but have the innocence of a child at the same time. Now, what's interesting is in the Golden Dawn system, the Fool comes first, and you will find whether you read Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot or you read any other modern tarot deck, they tend to follow this system. However, Aleister Crowley, and we will talk about a lot more of the history as we go along with the training videos. So just sort of accept what I'm telling you. Remember when you're at school and the teacher used to say to you, just accept it, and we'll learn more about that later. Aleister Crowley put the Fool at the end of the deck, and he had his reasonings for that. And Eliphas Levi put the Fool between Judgment and the World, and he had his reasonings for that. And there's a whole minefield that we can step into to understand all of that. So the Fool, according to the Golden Dawn, sits at the beginning of the deck. So Hebrew letter Aleph, numerology 0, this idea of unlimited possibilities, huge, ever-expanding knowledge. So the planet for this card is Uranus. And if we look at the timing, we can see that Uranus rules Aquarius, and so the Golden Dawn timing we can infer would be January 21 to Feb 20. Again, Aquarius, an air sign, the idea of being in your airiness and being into that idea of creativity, unexpected originality, that really, and if you look at the meaning of the Aquarius zodiac sign, you start to get an even deeper understanding of this card. And of course, with these dates, if you want to use this card for any sort of timing, whether it's in a reading or just to understand where it sits on the astrological wheel, we use those dates. So I've mentioned the element air, and there's an awful lot of air in this card. The Fool is standing at the top of the cliff, and the breeze is coming up over the top of him. We've all stood at the top of a cliff and felt that air, and it's filling the sleeves of his jacket. It's blowing his hair back and the feather on the top of his hat. So this is a card about the classical element of air, and we know that air is associated with the minor arcana deck of swords, which is about thinking, communication, cutting through the air with our words. It's about stepping out and making yourself heard. So, with that background of the meaning of the card, let's now have a look at the symbolism, because the symbolism gives us a huge amount of information about what the card means. So the first lot of colour I want to look at is yellow. So we've got yellow boots, stepping out with confidence. We've got yellow starbursts here, all about happiness and passion and being in the moment. Yellow hair, clarity of thought, thinking, energy, optimism, enlightenment. And then we've got yellow sky. Now, the yellow sky refers to the story of Icarus. And it's really interesting because the yellow symbolism, particularly the yellow sky, is very consistent all the way through the tarot in terms of this type of meaning. So the yellow sky is about the story of Icarus, which is a story from Greek mythology. Now, if you know Greek mythology, you probably know this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway for those of you who don't know. But Icarus decided he wanted to fly, and he built himself these beautiful wax wings. And he went to his dad and he said, I'm going to fly and I've got these gorgeous wax wings. Isn't that a great idea? And his dad said, I think it's a fabulous idea except for one thing. I wouldn't fly too close to the sun, because if you get too close, you might find the wax in your wings melts and you might come crashing down to earth. But Icarus, in his enthusiasm and innocence, just took off up into the air, and he flew up to the sun, and of course his wings melted and he came crashing down to earth. So this is about enthusiasm and passion in overdrive. You fly too close to the sun. You take too many chances. You don't perhaps balance yourself. So this is a card to me about having healthy boundaries. It's about not letting life's experience hold you back, but at the same time thinking to yourself, once bitten, twice shy. I'll put my toe in the water, but I'm not going to step out too far because I don't want to risk getting burned. The sun is white. The rose is white. Tunic's white. We've got white cap mountains, and we've got a white dog. So the sun is white. So this is about absolute innocence. So Icarus came up and he flew too close to the sun. He took his innocence too far. So that's what the white sun is about. The white dog, faithfulness and loyalty. But the white inner tunic is about your faithfulness and loyalty to yourself. You might have a very faithful dog that's going to bark at you and warn you that you might step off the cliff. But are you going to warn yourself? Are you going to look after yourself? Do you have faith in yourself? And the white rose is about just the childlike innocence. White roses can sometimes signify grieving and death. But I think in this instance, it's about this innocence of being in the world, skipping along, holding a flower without a care in the world. So that's your white symbolism. Then we've got red symbolism in this card. Now, the red symbolism links back to, we've got a heart, a beating heart on your chest, so passion. Then we've got these flames, and there's two lots of flames here. Now, these flames relate back to the tree of life in the Lovers card. If you also look at the Devil card, there's the man, remember there's the figures in the Devil card, and the man has a tail and he's got flames on his tail. So this is referring back to this idea of the tree of wisdom. So the snake says, come and have an apple and I'll tell you everything. And so they have the apple and they eat the apple, even though God said don't eat the apple. And the tree bursts into flames and they are set out into the world. They lose their innocence. And so this is about stepping out into the world and losing your innocence, but not losing your innocence to a point where you let it spoil your opportunities and your willingness to take on new experiences. So if you look at this card, you can see there is a knapsack. And the knapsack has 4 things in it by folklore. The fool travels to the magician and he unpacks his knapsack on the table. And what do we see on the table? The pentacle, the cup, the sword, and the wand. So this is about carrying with you only what you need. So it's about having healthy boundaries that help you to navigate your way through life, but not so much that they weigh you down or hold you back. So this is a card about balance. You take off your sleeves, you've got your red sleeves here, red inner sleeves, you take off, you've got to fly with balance and precision. You can't go too close to the sun, you can't drop too far or you'll fall off the cliff. So that's the red symbolism. Oh, and the happiness. This is just happiness. This red feather is happiness. And you can see it in this card, in the sun card. And this is the card of happiness, absolute happiness. But of course, it's a different card to the Fool card because this is about happiness, but it's about happiness that is about you having a state of mind as you step out at the beginning of your life, whereas the Sun card is at the end of the journey when you have the knowledge you need. So it's a very different orientation of knowledge than this one. So green, there's also green on this card. So you've got a green hat and you've got a green tunic. Now there's a lot of discussion online about this green hat. Is it a green hat or is it a green wreath? Now wreaths in the tarot mean victory. But here it's depicted as a hat because you can see there's no yellow on the top, but I've seen other cards where it's depicted as a wreath. The tunic, as you can see, is all these leaves. And this is referring back to the tree of life. And there are lots of references in the tarot to the tree of life. And as we work our way through, I'll show you what's coming to mind is the magician. You've got, here's another reference to the tree of life with all the greenery at the top. And I'm thinking of the Hanged Man card where you've got the greenery and then you've got the gallows and the hangman hanging upside down. And again, that's a reference to the tree of life. So this is about, again, your passion for life, your wisdom, and balancing, again, this balance of wisdom between the karmic turn of life and your ability to step through that and not let it hold you back. So that's the Fool card. I want to just quickly show you the worksheet that I put together. So I do hope that's helped you understand the card a little bit more and be in a space where you're curious about all of the symbolism that's there, because as you start to learn the symbolism, by the time we get to the end of the deck, you'll be able to pick up a card. And because the symbolism is so consistent, and it's consistent not just in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, but in any tarot deck that you pick up, if you go to an art gallery, if you are walking around, even in your life, noticing symbolism around you, it's consistent, it's spiritual language. And that's really what you're learning when you learn the symbolism through the Rider-Waite-Smith. So in this worksheet, we've got positive keywords for the tarot card, negative keywords for the tarot card. What words have special meaning for you? So again, pulling out your knowledge, which is super important. If someone comes to see you for a reading, they're coming to see you for a reading for a reason. If you're reading for yourself, you're doing it, you're feeling called to read for a reason. And being really able to apply your own life's knowledge to the card is huge because you'll be able to call on that when you need it, when you're looking at the cards in a spread or even one at a time. What's the strength of the card? What's the weakness of the card? And I like to think of this as even upright and reversed reading. I don't tend to read reverse cards, but some people do. And I find knowing the reverse meanings is helpful if you're looking at a card and you think that perhaps it might have a negative meaning in a reading. 3 important symbols from the card that say something to you. So for me, it's about the white dog, the sky. I love the idea of flying too close to the sun and getting burned. And also I love the idea of the karmic turn of life. So the red starbursts in his jacket, I love the knapsack, only taking with you what you need, because to me this is a card about setting healthy boundaries. It's about not letting the past hold you back, but at the same time being able to use that wisdom to be able to protect yourself in life's challenges. 2 things I learned about myself from the card. How does the card make you feel when you look at it? Advice for my higher self from this card. Then just list out the things that really mean something for you, and then you're able to write yourself an overall meaning. So that's the full card. I hope that this card now speaks to you so much more clearly than it ever did before. I know now I look at it with such different eyes than I did the first time that I looked at the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I'll be back for our next video next week, and it will be, we're working our way through the deck on the Magician. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell. And don't forget to look in the description box. It's down in the comments. You'll find all my links, both to my Etsy shop and, of course, to my freebies and to become part of my community. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.